For the first time since the end of the Phyrexian War, Castle Grayskull is packed. Automobiles, spaceships, and fantastical mounts are parked all around the surrounding fields, as heroes from across the multiverse have gathered together once more for one night for a single, unified purpose. In the basement, on a darkened stage, a curtain parts and a figure emerges. A spotlight illuminates him. Dr. Morden Solus, wearing a tuxedo. He stands in the center of the stage, hands spread apart in a welcoming gesture, and addresses the packed house of multiversal patrons.
Distinguished guests, what you are about to see and hear is the first production of the Castle Grayskull Basement Community Theater. It's called The Show Must End. Been kicking around the idea for a while, but to be honest, haven't had the energy to work on it lately, so thought I'd never finish. But I was surprised to learn the other day that apparently, over the past month or so, the rest of the league finished writing it for me. Also made sets and costumes, everything. I'd like to take credit for even a small piece of this, but even those parts that I wrote were inspired by everyone else here, so I couldn't do it without them. And we couldn't do this without you. Also, they won't let me see a full script, so I hesitate to fully endorse... well, I guess we'll all just find out together, won't we?
Scene 1. Escape from Phyrexia. The curtain rises on a darkened stage. The greatest source of light are the 4 vertical glass tubes that emit a soft green glow. Each is large enough to hold a full-grown adult, and 3 of the 4 appear to be doing just that. The 4th, however, is holding a much smaller figure, a tiny black silhouette with 6 arms, backlit by green. In front of the tubes is a bank of computer terminals, and a metallic spidery humanoid is currently clacking away at one of the keyboards. This is a Phyrexian, or at least a robot built from scrap metal to look like one. A distant explosion can be heard, and the 4 figures begin to stir.
Then the tiny figure breaks out of his tube, sending shards of glass raining down onto the stage. He leaps onto the Phyrexian and begins to shake him. "Where is my family?"
The crowd cheers. Irrelevant. Family is not necessary for completion.
Stitch grabs the Phyrexian and throws him into a computer console.
Sparks begin to fly from the glass tubes, and the other 3 slowly open, spilling green goo onto the ground.
Dante emerges from his tube. "They kidnap me and don't even give me a snack except this green jello?" Dante scoops up a handful of goo and eats it. "Ugh! And it isn't even the fancy kind. This is what you serve to your guests? Have you ever even tried this?" Dante shoves a handful of goo into the unconscious Phyrexian's mouth.
Sterling Archer climbs out of his tube. "That is the last time I drink absinthe from Switzerland. Somebody needs to tell me what is going on right after somebody else fetches me some vodka. No, scotch."
Morden Solus steps out of his tube. Subject's motor skills seem to be compromised. Sedated? No, no one else's. Intoxicated? More likely.
Alright, everyone calm down and tell me why this headache is so bad that it's making me hallucinate asymmetrical demons.
All of us appear to have been prisoners here.
A pair of Phyrexians enter from stage left. "Return to your cells. We are working to perfect you."
"You're too late. I'm already perfect."
"You are incomplete. You will be completed."
Hey, I'm not incomplete. I mean, I have some, emotional stuff I should probably work through at some point, so, if you're talking about counseling...
The Phyrexian slashes at Archer with a buzzsaw arm, leaving a cut across his arm.
Son of a bitch!
Stitch rushes to Archer's defense, picking up one of the Phyrexians and ripping it in half. "Now you're not complete!"
"I like the way you roll, Fluffy." Dante roundhouse kicks the other Phyrexian's head off.
Morden approaches Archer, a needle extending from his gauntlet. "Please remain still."
Whoa, hold the fort there, William Chester Minor.
What?
Noted surgeon and contributor to the Oxford English Dictionary? Jesus, read a book.
"You have been injured. You require medical attention. I am a trained medical professional."
Stitch eyes Morden warily, pulling his ears back. Sneaky scientist.
The Phyrexian that Stitch threw into the console begins to stir. It pulls itself up to its feet and is slowly sneaking up on Dante.
Yeah, I don't know if you're gonna probe me or eat me, but...
Morden injects Archer with Metagel.
Oh, impressive. We are gonna have to hit a pub on the way out now, though, because whatever this was does seem to be sobering me up.
The Phyrexian, now right behind Dante, raises a buzzsaw arm above its head.
Dante jumps back, accidentally falling over onto his back.
Then, at the last moment, a red axe comes flying in from offstage, tumbling end over end before impaling the Phyrexian in the head. The team looks up to see Buffy Summers enter, followed by 3 others. She pulls the axe from the creature's head and extends Dante a hand as she begins to sing. Dante takes her hand, hearts in his eyes, and the team begins to follow her. As the song continues, the group jogs in place, facing to the right, as monsters enter from off stage and background elements scroll past them. As the song continues, our 8 heroes kill Phyrexians in time with the beat. Come with us if you want to live. We're the cavalry and we got help to give. I'm Buffy, here's my backup band, Princess Zelda, Terminator, and Rasputin. You want an explanation, son? These nasty folks are called Phyrexians. They eat worlds like potato chips, a traveling and sentient apocalypse. So come join the fight in this grassroots military. We might not be the largest, but we are extraordinary. Our purpose is clear, but our numbers are few. Come take my hand and make a stand. We can't do it without you. The scenery changes once more, and the group is on the streets of a ruined, Phyrexianized London, standing at the foot of the London Eye in the background. Buffy turns to the others. All right, at the top of that structure is the extraction point. Anyone have a way of getting up there?
Grappling hook?
That works. Let's... At this point, another wave of Phyrexians pour on stage from both sides. Buffy sighs. Should have been expecting a second verse. A few more, then we're almost free. We'll take you somewhere safe if you want to flee. Then again, if our struggle intrigues you, you know that the League will always need you.
The Phyrexians now cleared, the group gathers around Archer, who shoots his grappling hook straight up to the ceiling. Over the course of the following chorus, the various Leaguers climb up the rope until only Archer, Morden, Buffy, and the Terminator remain. They all grab onto each other, and then Archer begins to retract the cable, lifting the 4 skyward in a triumphant rising group hug.
Come join the fight in this grassroots military. We might not be the largest, but we are extraordinary. Our purpose is clear, but our numbers are few. Come take my hand and make a stand. We can't do it without... At the last moment, before the group exits out of sight, a flying Phyrexian swoops on stage and snatches away the Terminator before the lights go black. When the lights come back on, the team, minus the Terminator, are standing in the middle of a stage representing Castle Grayskull. Zelda solemnly exits, carrying an injured Rasputin. Buffy stays behind with the others. We have to go back.
For the synthetic? Are you joking?
He's not a synthetic, he's our friend.
Look, it was us or him. We just have to be lucky it wasn't us.
I believe it was Friedrich Nietzsche who said, when shit goes down and life and death are on the line, it's everyone for themselves.
That's not how we're gonna win this. Buffy exits. A moment later, the others start to follow her, except Stitch, who stands in the middle of the stage, holding the Terminator's sunglasses.
Oh, Hanya.
Archer, Morden, and Dante briefly stop and look back.
What's that?
Never mind.
And all exit. Backstage, Morden, Elijah Snow, and Luna are talking and sipping coffee. Elijah is wearing a black baseball cap, holding a clipboard, and ordering people around, doing the thankless work of a stage manager.
Things are going well so far, but if you don't mind me asking, why weren't there any instruments during the song?
During one of the practices, Stitch turned up the volume on Marlene a little too much, and it ended up destroying all of the other instruments. So we decided to make it an a cappella musical.
Not how I would have done it, but I suppose it's fine. I'm a little nervous about the next part, though. Had some trouble teaching Lace how to behave herself. Did you manage to solve that problem?
Kind of. Apparently Dante has a plan.
As the Terminator walks by, Morden excuses himself, runs off from the others, and starts walking alongside him. Good job out there, bud. Sorry, by the way, about the whole leaving you to die thing.
It was the tactically sound option. I would have made the same calculation.
Well, I'm glad there's no hard feelings. Brave of you to be willing to reenact this scene. Can't imagine it's a pleasant memory.
Creating art about my trauma helps me process my pain.
Archer approaches Luna and Elijah. Hey, how did you guys do that thing with the flying axe and moving all those sets around? That was pretty rad.
Well, I'm helping to levitate some things with the Force, and Luca's also helping, because she's getting really good with the gravity gun. But also...
Sombra reappears from thin air out of a cascade of pink holograms. As always, I'm doing the more delicate work. With the help of a friend. Hey, Sombrita, show Archer what I've been teaching you.
Vivian rises out of the ground and waves. Been here all along. In Japanese theater, they're called kurogo, and they wear all black, but we have some slightly better camouflage.
Scene 2. Jurassic Park. Back on stage, the set looks like a dense, dark jungle at night. The sounds of birds and insects chirp in the trees, and a series of hidden misters throughout the ceiling spray the audience with a light cloud of moisture, really selling the jungle atmosphere. Archer, Morden, and Stitch stalk through the jungle silently, but Dante is strangely absent.
Okay, team, look sharp. The Phyrexians have been doing, some weird stuff poking around this world. We don't know what they're after, but it's big.
And remember, last League Cell to come through here is still missing, with the exception of Demona, who just barely managed to escape, but her 3 companions are still MIA. Oh no. What's that?
A pack of robotic dinosaurs slowly circle the group.
Dinosaurs.
Velociraptors, specifically. And some Dilophosauruses. Those things are nasty.
Reminds me, acquired a vial of Dilophosaurus venom when we were here. Don't think I ever used that for anything. Dramatically unsatisfying. Oh, sorry,
Yeah, I said those things are nasty.
Thank you. They look it. What do we do?
Morden, as always, I have the perfect solution for this and every problem. Here's some advice. It's quite clever. It's my secret to live forever. Unlike awareness, this can be taught. Whenever you're in doubt, just take a shot. Over the course of the following song, Archer is shooting Velociraptor robots with a pistol and drinking hard liquor straight from the bottle. Take a shot, fixes any problem that you got. Inner demons, kill them with rum, and your enemies with a gun. Now, by the looks on your faces, I can tell you have questions, for example, how many shots? Well, as many as it takes, so often quite a lot. And if all this drinking makes your aim erratic, get yourself a gun that's automatic. Seriously, it's a legitimate combat strategy. Law of large numbers? Anyone? No? Bernoulli's theorem? No? Okay, fine. Another round, till you lose count of the bodies on the ground. Therapy's for losers and diplomacy's lame. Whatever the dilemma, my solution is the same. Just take a shot.
No, not this one. She's a new cousin.
Archer's gun is pointed off stage, apparently at an unseen raptor.
From that general direction, Dante leaps onto the stage, now dressed in a Halloween store quality Velociraptor costume.
Dante?
Dino rap! Wah, wah, wah. Cut the treble and pump the bass. I'm a raptor and my name is Lace. Just like me, my rhymes are clever. Don't know the come until they bite you in your face. Creatures here are so Jurassic, but got no feathers like the classics. Also, they made all us ladies, so you know that means we be sapphic.
Hello, Lace. Nice to meet you, but before we follow you, I think we need to find our companion, Dante.
Morden, it's me. I'm just wearing a costume.
No, Lace the dinosaur, the character of Dante, is our friend and an important part of our story, and we're happy to have you with us, but we also need some sort of Dante.
Ah, shoot, I forgot about that! Hold on! I see him right over there! I'll go get him! That's Velociraptor sound. Dante runs off stage. A moment later, Dante returns with Elijah Snow, dressed as Dante?
I am not okay with this.
Dante grabs a skateboard and starts riding around the stage, gesturing for the others to follow him. Come with me, I'll be your guide. I'll show you the right paths and help you hide. There's the main visitor center. I think I saw that your friends are inside.
The set now resembles the interior of the Jurassic Park Visitor Center. Roland Deschain is lying on a table, Zero is missing an arm, and Lara Croft is pointing a bow at our heroes.
Elijah approaches her. Whoa, what a babelicious broad.
Lara lowers the bow slightly. I guess you'd be from the League then.
Stitch looks up at Dante Lace. I guess.
Except me. I'm from your dreams.
Dante as Lace gives Elijah as Dante a thumbs up.
Your friend. He's injured.
Lara nods.
Morden injects Roland with Medigel.
Roland sits up. Thank you, Sai.
So you're from Demona's party?
Zero shakes his head. Not anymore, we're not. That lying snake betrayed us. Lara looks equally stern. She stole our DDC and fled. Left us here to fend for ourselves.
Luna Lovegood walks on stage.
Hello, stranger. Who are you?
Fa la 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 doo-dee-doo. Fa la 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 doo-dee-doo.
Are you another member of Demona's cell?
Ask the blibbering humdingers or the mites that live inside 'em. Luna looks off stage at Lace.
She is shaking her head violently and making a slashing motion across her neck.
Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to be here yet. Goodbye!
So, what were we doing?
Must return to Grayskull. Stop Demona from whatever she's doing.
Zero nods. Works with us. The next extraction point is just a bit up the road. Let's rock and roll. The walls of the visitor center rise up off stage, expanding the stage into the jungle set once more. The team looks off stage, astonished by something the audience can't see.
Whoa, what's that?
They made a big ol' hole and a big ol' mound, trying to dig something up from the ground. Whatever's down there, it's awful important, but so far it seems like it's not been found.
No, what's that?
Wexter, the tiny T-Rex, runs on stage wearing a bunch of tinfoil all over his body, intended to resemble the metal plating of a Phyrexian. He stands at roughly knee height.
Oh, that's a Tyrannosaurus Rex that's been Phyrexianized. Or as I like to call it, the T-Phyrex, a name Lace, invented.
Good thing it's still very far away from us right now, and that's why it looks so small. Forced perspective.
Wexter starts nuzzling Stitch, and Stitch pats Wexter on the head. Good job, Wex. Now go back to Helena.
Wexter runs off stage.
Elijah approaches Dante. Look, Dante, this was fun and all, but can I go back to being the stage manager now?
The evil robot dinosaur king has been destroyed, and with it, the curse is lifted! Dante dramatically throws off his dinosaur costume. He is now naked. I, Lace, was secretly a human all along!
The audience semi-cheers, thoroughly confused and also averting their eyes.
But it's not all good news. It seems that Dante was tragically injured in the fighting. Dante, fall down!
Elijah carefully sits down and flops over, fading death. I am slain.
Oh, woe is me! In order to honor your legacy, I, Lace the Human, will wear your clothing and adopt your name. From now on, you can call me Dante.
While you two are figuring all this out, I'm going to see what Phyrexia has been digging up.
Cut to black. Backstage, Elijah is talking with Luna.
What do you mean you replace me?
I'm sorry, but we needed a stage manager and someone decided to step up to the plate.
Who?
Lace enters, holding a clipboard and wearing a black baseball cap. She growls at a nearby Nico and gestures.
Nico nods. Oh, thanks, Lace. That's right. My first scene is next.
Lace offers a thumbs up. From onstage, we hear the voice of Demona. Curse you, Extraordinary League! You haven't heard the last of me! The audience boos Demona. Demona and Archer exit from onstage.
Demona, some good work out there. You really know how to lay into that whole heel persona thing.
Thank you, Archer, as do you.
What are you talking about? I'm not a heel. I'm a totally likable, relatable everyman. Apart from, being amazingly good looking and skilled at everything, right guys? Archer turns to the rest of the room expectantly. Crickets. Wow, you've really given me a lot to think about. Anyway, speaking of wrestling metaphors, time for me to tag out. See y'all in Nexus City. Nico and Archer high five. Thanks, Archer. Elijah approaches Archer and Nico. Did anyone ever tell you guys that you kind of have similar voices? Nico rolls her eyes. That is literally the worst thing you could have told me.
Scene 3. Westeros. Seated around a table on a set representing a Westerosi tavern are Stitch, Morden, Nico, Geralt, and Dante, who is once again dressed as Dante, but this time with a beard. Alright, folks. So that book we got from Jurassic Park tells us that there was once an alliance of people called Planeswalkers, whatever that means, who fought Phyrexia in the past, and they created a collection of 5 magic gems that will, supposedly, if gathered together, have the power to permanently defeat Phyrexia. One of these gems is somewhere here in Westeros, and there are legends about it. It's an emerald called the Stone of Grace, but no one knows where it is. We'll need to do some research, but unfortunately, the biggest and best library for 100 leagues is inside the Red Keep. And as far as the local royalty is concerned, we're a bunch of nobodies. They'll never let us inside.
So what do we do?
Don't worry, team. Sure, we'll think of something. After all, the show must go on.
What does that mean?
The lights on the stage go dark, except for a single spotlight on Morden. There is no teacher greater than to work in the theater. It was there in which I spent my early days. No show can ever be perfected, so when things don't go as expected, we learn to carry on and say this simple phrase. We said the show must go on, my friends, even when the production's fraught. Although the setting is not ideal, make the most of what you've got.
The lights turn back on, and the stage has been transformed to the interior of the Red Keep. Morden and the rest of the League stand on a little stage within the stage, and seated on a pair of thrones watching them perform are the Cheat, dressed as Joffrey Baratheon, and Yoshimitsu, dressed as Cersei Lannister.
And when I worked as a physician, I encountered a strange condition that decimated Omega's population. But in the face of this affliction, I did not lose my conviction, and my team and I managed to save the station.
We said the show must go on, my friends, until the production's done. And in the end, I guess I won.
We said the show must go on, my friends, no matter what goes wrong. It's the perfect plan. We'll distract them with a song.
We said the show must go on, my friends. 'Cause you see, a show's a contract and we do guarantee them.
But is it still gay if you cannot see them?
Stitch and Dante continue to perform on the stage within the stage as Nico and Morden sneak off it.
There's one more time I learned this lesson when I was sent on a secret mission because too many Krogan were being born. First I classified, then I classified, then I classified, and I classified. And so now you know the way I lost my horn.
Sombra invisibly wheels a bookcase on stage with a sign above it that says, Library.
Morden grabs a book off the shelf. Acting's about reacting. It's that spark which makes it groovy. Perfection's for the dead, and I guess those who like movies. For once you get it perfect, that spark becomes deleted, like a film that only happens once, and then it is completed.
You done?
One more chorus. Morden leaps onto the stage within the stage and spreads his arms wide. The show must go on, my friends. Every show will hit some stormy weather, but you'd be surprised what you can do together. The show must go on.
The cheat in the role of Joffrey stands up from his throne.
Yoshimitsu holds up a sign. On it are the words, "Hey, where'd you get that book from?"
Run away!
Huh?
The curtain falls. As the set changes behind the curtain, our team is clustered around a holographic orange fire, sleeping on bedrolls. Nico slowly sits up in bed and stares off into space for a good 15 seconds, as if hearing something that we cannot.
Darkness falls, but sleep does not. A song on the wind, like a tuneless rhyme, the words forgot.
It can be mine if I pay the price. These are the words of the wordless dirge, a song of ice. Darkness calls.
The lights come up on an eclectic home that appears to belong to some sort of shaman or witch. All around the room are animal skins and skulls, a cauldron, and a massive floor-length mirror leaning up against a pile of strange magical trinkets. Standing at the back of the room and gazing out a floating window frame is a woman in a maroon and black dress covered in feathers. Her face is hidden from us, but her dark hair is in an updo that resembles dragon horns. Our heroes enter from offstage, approaching tentatively.
Daenerys Targaryen?
The people of this world have taken to calling me that, or the Mother of Dragons, or the Unburnt. I'm particularly fond of that last one. But that is simply because they do not know who I am. The woman turns around, revealing Azula, playing the part of Flemeth. You can call me Flemeth.
Research led us here. We seek the Stone of Grace?
I thought there was a chance that Bauble might have some magic inside, but despite my considerable efforts, I wasn't able to detect any. What do you want with it?
We face a great enemy, and I believe it may be the key to defeating them.
An enemy from another world? As I suspected, you four like myself are not from around here.
Big deal. Two of us are clearly aliens. We're supposed to be impressed?
We're the League. Travel between worlds, solve problems, keep people safe.
Well, then perhaps you can help me solve one of my problems. Have you heard it? A voice that calls out to you in the night?
Yes.
So you're a mage.
That's right.
And you know of the armies of undead that stalk these lands.
Yeah, those guys are doo-doo heads.
I believe the two may be linked. If we find the source of this strange song, we can cleanse this land of its undead plague. If you help me with this problem, The Stone of Grace is yours.
Very well. We leave in the morning. The team turns to leave.
But I wonder if it will be enough.
The entire team exits, except Nico.
When you heard the voice in the night, how did it make you feel?
Small. It's bad news, and I know I can't handle it alone.
No, right now you can't. Let alone defeat an enemy so great that it threatens multiple worlds. Perhaps someday, but you'll need more than a staff and a stone. This may be a place to start. Azula hands Nico the Tome of Eternal Darkness.
Is this dark magic?
Azula laughs.
They say the night is dark and full of terrors, but to hide within the light is a fatal error. That these predators exist is a truth you can't ignore. But if you learn to bind them, then their power can be yours. The power is mine. The power could be yours. If down darkened paths you are willing to explore.
The power is yours. The power could be mine. Think of the things I'd learn if we let our powers combine.
I have the power, but it's yours to discover. Will you open the book, or will you judge it by its cover? The power is mine, but it's yours to claim. And if you learn the things man was not meant to know, there is no limit to how your powers can grow, and the dark itself will someday fear your name.
The set of Flemeth's hut is wheeled away, leaving a blank stage, except for a single prop, an enormous chunk of ice, with a replica of Frostmourne sticking out of the top. In front of this prop, shambling all over the stage, is an army of undead, by which you mean a bunch of assorted leaguers who are wearing zombie makeup. Stitch, Morden, Nico, Dante, and Azula, as Flemeth, battle the horde valiantly, but more and more zombies just keep coming.
Suddenly, Dante looks up from the group, as if he hears something that the rest of the group cannot. His head turns to Frostmourne, and he slowly approaches it. Snowflakes fall like tears forlorn. A wind so cold, it sounds just like if frost could mourn. It can be mine if I pay the price. These are the words of the wordless dirge, a song of ice. Snowflakes call. Dante wraps his hand around the hilt of Frostmourne and pulls it from the ice.
Suddenly, all the zombies stop whatever they were doing and slowly turn to Dante, as if expecting something.
What do you want?
The horde remains silent.
Go home!
The horde collapses to the ground, dead. Cut to black. Backstage, Luna, Vivian, and Azula are sipping tea.
You killed it, Azula. You got great pipes.
Thank you, and I appreciate you letting me hold the actual Tome of Eternal Darkness. I thought you would have made a prop, but...
Yeah, there really wasn't time. I think I made the Frostmourne replica and that whole big chunk of ice a bit too detailed.
Nailed it, by the way.
Thanks, but I really didn't have time for much else, so we're kind of having improvised props for the rest of it. It wasn't speaking to you or anything, right? Telling you to do evil things?
Oh, I assure you, Luna, the most evil thoughts that have occurred to me in the past hour have been entirely of my own devising. Azula walks off, chuckling to herself.
Is that supposed to reassure me? Are we sure we can trust her?
A few weeks ago, I would have said no, but she's made a lot of progress lately, a lot faster than I thought she would. She still says creepy stuff like that every once in a while, but who am I to judge? We all got our stuff.
Out in the audience, Elijah Snow takes an empty seat. Guess I'm just watching then.
Sitting next to him are Amethyst and Fiverr. Popcorn?
Back on stage, the set now looks like one of Grayskull's balconies at sunset. Archer, wearing a cowboy hat, is lying down, looking through the scope of a sniper rifle that's pointed at a row of targets along the back of the stage. Roland paces back and forth behind him.
Take a breath. Take a breath. Think of your father, Ka, and life and death. Aim with your eye, and shoot with your mind. One shot, one kill, every time. So take a shot.
Archer fires and bullseyes a target. Booyakasha!
Tell me, Sterling, would you have palaver?
Archer climbs back up to his feet. I don't know, I had cancer once. Is it anything like...
Do you shoot with your hand, Psy Archer? A crackling electrical white light flashes from just off stage.
Ah, sweet, they're back. Sorry, Roland. No, wait, I had something for this. He who shoots with his hand has forgotten the face of his father. Which I don't know. I shoot with my mind.
Archer, in my time, there were many trials a gunslinger would undertake to prove himself worthy. We've neither the time nor the means to make a proper ceremony of it, but to my thinking, the best way to prove yourself would be to rejoin your group and test out your skills against more than just these targets.
Thank you, Sai. Archer turns to leave.
And Gunslinger, one last thing. Perhaps consider shooting with your mind in other areas of life as well.
Archer tips his hat to Roland and exits.
The set changes to reveal the interior of the castle, a large meeting room. Seated around the table are Stitch, Morden, Archer, Nico, and Dante. Buffy stands at the head of the table, and the Green Stone of Grace sits on the table itself. Buffy speaks. Your next mission is going to be in a world called Nexus City. Nico won't be going with you, but we have a new magic user who's going to be filling her role for the time being, Luna Lovegood.
Luna enters. Fa la 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 doody doo. Fa la 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 doody doo.
Hello, it's nice to meet you.
Ask the blibbering humdingers or the mites that live inside 'em. Luna looks off stage at Lace.
She is once again shaking her head violently and making a slashing motion across her neck.
Oh, sorry. Not time for the song yet. Hi, I'm Luna. I'm going to be your new magic person for this mission.
Whoa, what a totally bodacious babe.
Was he still doing this at this time?
Afraid so. Lasted a while.
Nico, you're not coming?
Nico's face is currently buried in the Tome of Eternal Darkness.
Nico?
What? Sorry, no, I have some reading to do.
But, Ohana.
Cut to black. Scene 3. Nexus City. The lights come on, revealing a set made to resemble a swanky penthouse apartment on Nexus City. Sitting toward the front of the stage are Stitch, Morden, Archer, Dante, Luna, and Sombra. And sitting toward the back of the stage is a big cardboard box with marker drawn on it so that it resembles a TV. Kneeling inside the box, pretending to be a person on TV, is Troy McClure. Actual Troy McClure. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from Kramer vs. Mecha Kramer or the dad who sold the Christmas tree. Now, the time has come for the Nexus tournament. There's a trophy on the line with this distinct red ornament.
Hey, it's that stone we're after.
In order to win it, we're going to have to enter that tournament.
Sombra stands. Let's get started. Iniciando el hackeo.
The League runs off the stage, and wires raise up the cardboard box to the ceiling, allowing Troy McClure to stand up. Swanky apartment furniture is wheeled off stage as Troy McClure approaches the audience, microphone in hand. I'll be watching close, and if I may be so bold, I'm guessing you'll be watching too, almost as if you're mind-controlled. But the question that's on everybody's lips is, who's next to be eliminated, to be disqualified, and to be elevated? Watch as champions collide. Who's next to make a splash? Your time cannot be better spent. Who's next to win it all in the Nexus tournament? A set resembling a wrestling ring slowly descends from above. The League enters toward the front of the stage, led by Sombra.
Okay, I got you all into the tournament. The only thing that your team needs now is a name.
Team Archer.
Team everyone around me sucks.
Ohana.
You say that word a lot. What does that mean?
The lights go dark except for a spotlight on Stitch.
When you're all alone and you're feeling really rotten, no, you won't be left behind and you will not be forgotten. It's not a magic word or a piece of strange arcana. It's just Hawaiian, cousin. And you say it like Ohana. Hit it! Ohana are the people that you want to be around. Ohana take you surfing and they never let you drown. Ohana might be blood or the family that you choose. They're with you when you're rocking, when you need to sing the blues. Ohana, yeah, cousin Ohana.
Oh!
Whether I'm out in space or in Memphis, Tennessee, no matter where I go, my Ohana stays with me. If I keep there in my heart, I will never lose my way. Ohana is the compass that will bring me home someday. Ohana, yeah, cousin Ohana. From the shores of Hawaii to the swamps of Louisiana, no matter where you go, you'll always be with your Ohana. No matter where you go, you will always be with your Ohana.
Oh, so it's like a quartet. A group of people brought together by fate in service of a unified purpose greater than themselves. Read 7 books!
Anyone else care to defend your choices with a song?
Team Ohana it is. Good job, Fluffy. You're pretty deep, you know. We have that in common.
Team Ohana lines up on one side of the stage. On the other side of the stage stands Alice, Bakuryu, Long, Uriko, and Yugo of Team Zoanthrope. As Troy McClure sings, the two sides fight. For our first match today, Ohana versus Zoanthrope. These furry monks are pretty tough. Don't think these newbies have a hope. Oh, I spoke too soon. That Dante guy has folding chairs. Surely this clip's a viral one, so click the link below to share. Who's next to be Ohana's foe? Oh, what a twist. Who could have guessed? Their next match in the tourney will be against Team the very best. Team Ohana lines up against Ash Ketchum and his various Pokemon.
Standing on the back line of Team Ohana is Archer, who raises a sniper rifle at Ash Ketchum. Take a breath, take a breath. Think about those tacos that made me wish for death. We need to score, and this kid is the goalie. I shoot with my mind, and I shoot for guacamole. So take a shot.
Ash Ketchum flies backward off stage, pulled by unseen forces, parentheses, Sombra.
Whoa, Archer. Where'd you learn to shoot like that?
I think that was a child?
The lights go dark. A small amount of light returns to the stage when a series of dull green computer screens at the back of the room light up. The set now portrays a small secret laboratory, full of cardboard cutouts, depicting alien machinery and strange giant vertical tubes full of sedated fighters from the Nexus tournament floating in liquid. The League sneaks into the room, led by Archer.
After putting together all the clues, I, Sterling Archer, world's greatest secret agent, have determined that this is the location of the mastermind behind all the strange occurrences happening on this plane.
I don't remember it that way.
This is blatant Venusaur erasure.
Troy McClure leaps from the shadows, holding up the Nexus tournament trophy, preparing to bring it down on Archer's head. Blah! I am evil!
McClure runs at Archer, who karate chops him on the shoulder.
Ah! Down I go! Troy McClure collapses to the ground.
Archer picks up the trophy
Troy McClure
and...
sits up. Thanks, Ohana! See what I did there? Okay, now I'm dying for real. See ya!
Good riddance. Archer picks up the trophy and pops off the red gem, sticking it in his pocket. You see, Troy McClure was evil this whole time, just as I expected. Now that that's taken care of...
Dante draws Frostmourne and stares deep into the blank eyes of the skull embedded in its hilt. The power I give, it does not come free. Now your foe lies slain. You know what to do, give his soul to me. Dante raises his sword and tosses it aside. Psych! A stupid sword can't tell me what to do. And you know what? Just to avoid temptation, from this day forward, I vow to never draw my sword again.
A rumbling sound is heard over the speakers.
What's that?
Oh yeah, I remember. This is the part where Phyrexia invades Nexus City.
The cardboard cutouts representing Troy McClure's secret laboratory are wheeled off stage as a giant matte painting descends from above and settles in the background. It portrays the streets of Nexus City, with the strange, mind-bending city skyline looming above.
Oh no! It's the Green Praetor! Godzilla!
Wexter, the tiny T-Rex, runs on stage wearing a fake Godzilla spine on his back made of popsicle sticks painted blue. Once again, he stands at roughly knee height.
Good thing that this is yet another creature who is very far away from us. Forced perspective.
Wexter starts chewing on Archer's shoes.
Hey, get away!
We need Megazord power, now!
The team runs off stage, except Stitch, who is patting Wexter on the head.
Stitch!
What?
Stitch remains on stage playing with Wexter.
A moment later, Dante comes on stage wearing a robot costume made of cardboard boxes. Beep beep, I am the Megazord. I will destroy you. Dante swings a paper towel tube with Power Sword written on it about 3 feet away from Wexter.
Wexter looks up at Dante, confused.
Wex, remember, play dead?
Wexter clutches his chest and stumbles about elaborately before falling over.
The evil has been defeated. Great job, team.
Meanwhile, backstage, Helena holds up the Sword of Honor. For honor of Grayskull. In a flash of light, Helena transforms into Shalena Ra and points the Sword of Honor towards Wexter on stage. Wexter climbs back up to his feet and starts to glow.
Oh no! He's transforming into his Praetor form!
Wexter grows to the size of a fully grown T-Rex. Sunglasses appear on his face, and his arms become Gatling guns. Scree-honk!
Ah, dang it.
Wexter headbutts Dante with enough force to send him flying off the stage into the audience. As he sails through the air, several of the cardboard boxes that make up his costume fly off and land scattered around the theater. Fortunately, he lands on Amethyst, who transforms into a mattress. And don't worry, seeing this coming, Fiverr had already hopped onto Elijah's lap. Wexter starts stomping around on stage, kicking over small plywood buildings. As he spins around, his tail cuts a slash through the canvas matte painting of the Nexus City skyline.
Lace! Curtain!
Lace lowers the curtain. Now in darkness, Wexter continues to cheerfully smash up the stage.
This could be bad.
I got it. You know that feeling when you're about to beat super ghouls and ghosts and your roommate trips over the power cord?
A wave of magical energy washes over Wexter, who shrinks back down into being just a tiny T-Rex once more, who lets out an adorable chirp. Out in the audience, the lights turn on, signifying the intermission.
Nico turns to Morden. It's the intermission. So how are you liking it so far?
It was a dream of mine to finish this musical. This is fun, but if I'm being honest, some of the decisions made, we couldn't just get actual Godzilla.
He politely informed me that under no circumstances would anyone be permitted to shrink him ever again.
Your solution was creative, but let's just say this isn't how I would have done it.
Well, you know what they say.
The show must go on.
She claps him on the shoulder. Now you're getting it.
Morden smiles.
Nico exits.
Stitch runs up to Morden holding a small glass vial filled with black goop.
Morden, I found it!
You... what?
The Dilophosaurus venom. You said you didn't know where it was? It was in your lab. Duh.
Where? How did you find it?
It's all sorted by atomic weight. Or was sorted by atomic weight. Now it's sorted differently.
Thanks, Stitch, but I don't need it right now. Why don't you just put it back where you found it?
But that's so far away.
Stitch starts the long walk back to Morden's lab, but then stops when he sees something. The prop closet, which is filled with all sorts of fake weapons, accessories, miscellaneous machine parts, and a Hawaiian shirt. Stitch looks back and forth, no one is watching, so he sets the vial down upright on a random shelf before walking away. Also, on the wall next to the prop cabinet is one of Morden's softly glowing portals that seems to lead to a solid wooden door of some sort.
And that's the last we'll see of that.
Scene 4. Grayskull under siege. The set now depicts the kitchen of Castle Grayskull.
Nico paces around, full of nervous energy.
While Morden, Dante, and Stitch sit around the room and stare out into space, depressed.
In the background, Helena is snacking from the fridge.
That was some seriously scary shit. I can't believe how unprepared we were for that.
Speak for yourself. I did a great job.
We need more power.
We need something.
Dante, Nico, and Morden exit. Stitch stares off into space for a moment.
Do you need help? I can get the tall shelves.
Helena pulls down an assortment of snacks, and she and Stitch sit on the ground and eat from the light of the fridge.
You're having hard day?
We tried to fight a big lizard, but we weren't super good at being a robot together.
That does sound difficult.
Suddenly, behind the audience, the doors of the theaters open and Skeletor enters, followed by Demona and a handful of Skeletor's minions. As they walk down the aisles, approaching the stage, they stop occasionally to playfully glare at or harass random audience members. The power may be yours, but the power will be mine. We both hate you a lot, so you see our paths align. Demona snarls. The power may be yours, but the power will be ours. So surrender now, or else we'll tear down all your towers. Stitch and Helena glare down at them from up on the stage.
Go away. We do not desire your cookies, calendars, or religious texts.
Skeletor steps forward to address the League. As he does so, Demona sneaks away. We have come for the power of Grayskull. Those of you who surrender now and abandon the castle will be permitted to keep your miserable lives.
Doo-doo head.
Doo-doo head? I will show you who is the doo-doo head. Minions, attack!
Stitch and Helena leap down from the stage and begin to battle Skeletor and his minions in the aisles.
A moment later, Nico, Morden, and Dante join them.
After a minute of fighting, Demona re-enters, wearing a bird costume. Please, League, if you want to defeat Demona and Skeletor, come with me.
Who are you, lady?
I'm the sorceress, Kaka.
Let's go, team.
Demona leads them back up onto the stage, which has now been transformed into the sorceress's chambers. Crossed on the wall are the Sword of Power and the Sword of Honor, and the former sorceress, Tila Na, lies on the floor.
Who's that?
It's the sorceress?
If this is sorceress, who is...
Demona throws off her bird costume and grabs the Sword of Power.
If you haven't got it yet, then you must be pretty dull. Now all I have to say is by the power of Grayskull, I have the power, and now you are all doomed. This castle you call home will be your tomb.
We're boned.
Helena takes the Sword of Honor off the wall. For the honor of Grayskulls. Helena transforms into Shilenera. I am pretend to be Shilenera for the play. Shilenera swings her sword a single time.
Demona drops to the ground and drops the Sword of Power. Curse you, extraordinary League! The audience boos Demona enthusiastically.
Dante draws Frostmourne and stares into it. No more playing games. Time to pay the toll. You belong to me, so draw your blade and take her soul. Dante raises his sword and stabs it into the ground. For the last time, sword, you are not the boss of me.
Dante attempts to pull his hand away from the sword, but can't.
Oh no! It's holding me in place and draining my life energy! Someone save me!
Stitch picks up the Sword of Power, runs up to Dante, and cuts off Dante's hand.
Ah! Dante screams in agony for a moment before abruptly stopping and turning to the audience. Don't worry. It was just a robot hand with a flesh covering. I'm actually totally fine. I mean, I really am missing a hand, but that happened a long time ago.
Skeletor pops his head in from off stage. You win this round, but you haven't heard the last of me, Extraordinary League.
You still here?
Yeah,
We actually have heard last of him. He is not in rest of play.
Sorry about your hand and your sword.
It's okay. I've got a new hand and a new sword. Dante pulls out a backup skeletal Terminator's hand from his pocket and attaches it to his wrist. He then picks up the fallen Sword of Power triumphantly.
Nico approaches the sorceress Tila Na, who is still lying face down on the stage.
Wakey wakey, eggs and bakey.
Tila Na slowly gets up, helped by the others.
You okay, sorceress?
Yes, but I'm afraid I'm not the sorceress anymore. I died, and that means we need to pick a new sorceress. Azula, dressed as Flemeth, leaps on stage. I volunteer.
Flemeth?
That's me.
Any objections?
Very yes.
All right, it's settled. Flemeth, you are the new sorceress.
Dante and Helena cross the swords of power and honor.
The power is mine. The power is yours. Now you'll turn into an animal if you ever go outdoors.
The honors is mine. The honors is yours. Now you can give guns and sunglasses to dinosaurs.
I declare that the new sorceress of Grayskull is Flemeth. The audience cheers. Scene 5. Mushroom Kingdom. Backstage, Troy McClure approaches Roland Deschain. Roland is waiting in the wings of the theater out of sight of the audience, watching the actors perform. Which part of the story are we in now? The Mushroom Kingdom. They're currently retaking Peach's castle. Oh man, I'm missing Dante's consent song.
Consent! Consent! Can you believe I used to not know what that meant?
Ugh, taught him everything I know, so proud of him. I gotta say, Roland, you're a natural at this whole musical theater thing. Thank you, Cy McClure. I'm considering putting together a revival of the Planet of the Apes musical I was in a few years back. Can you dance as well? Have I told you of the time I danced the Kamala? Back on stage, Stitch, Nico, Dante, Luna, and Vivian stand in a semicircle around a plywood replica of Peach's castle. Standing atop the castle is Bowsette, wearing Dante's dinosaur costume from earlier in the play, and also a fake mustache on her face.
Give it up, Bowser. You're surrounded.
I'll never give up, for I am Bowser, who is a man.
Bowser, I know that you don't really want to do this. I've seen the Eggman who's controlling you. We can help you defeat him.
What? That's nonsense. How do you know that? It isn't true, but still, how do you know it?
I looked inside your mind. Sorry.
You didn't see any other stuff in there, did you?
No? What did you...
Nothing at all. Okay, so let's say I did decide I wanted to turn on that dastardly Eggman. Why should I join you?
Luna stares off into space.
I said, why should I join you?
Luna looks off stage at Lace.
She is nodding her head aggressively and twirling her claw in a go-on gesture.
Oh, now! Yay! Ask the blibbering humdingers or the mites that live inside 'em. There's no one who can make it without someone there beside 'em. It's written in the wind and every star that sparkles, and in the rhythmic heartbeats of the hippogriffs and nargles. Oh, in all the books in all the world, truer words were never penned. Fa-la-la-la, doo-dee-doo, everyone deserves a friend.
Okay, but I'm not a nargle or a humdinger or whatever. I'm a Koopa. Koopas don't have feelings. We have spikes and shells. And furthermore, I'm a king. A very manly king at that, so I don't need friends to watch my back. No one will ever get near me because I have an entire army protecting me.
Perhaps no one can touch you when you're sitting on a throne, but some touch can be nice and it is hard to touch alone. After several weeks of solitude, a snorkack starts to smell, unless it has a friend to clean the backside of its shell. Oh, if you haven't tried becoming one, then I strongly recommend. Fa-la-la-la, doo-dee-doo, everyone deserves a friend.
All right, fine. I'll give it a shot. But you better be serious about this whole friend thing.
We are.
Better not tragically betray me in the next scene or anything.
What? Me? Never.
Peach sticks her head in from off stage. She removes her blue brooch and tosses it to Stitch. Here you go.
Who puts it in his mouth?
Peach's plywood castle then spins around. The backside has been painted to look like Bowser's castle. As the set changes, the lighting also changes from day to night, with a bit of red underlighting that evokes the feeling of lava.
Give it up, Robotnik. You're surrounded.
Climbing to the top of the plywood castle is Sir Didymus, wearing a pair of goggles. You witless knaves are no match for the might of I, Sir Robotnik, and my army of mechanical thralls.
Mad Max walks out from behind the castle. He is holding a tire iron and has been painted silver. That's me, Mario, but I'm a robot.
Vivian cocks her head to the side. I don't think I've ever seen Mario use a tire iron.
No one talks to Mario that way.
The two sides scuffle.
Vivian pulls Mad Max down into the Shadow Realm. While down there, she opens up a tub of wet naps, and she and Max work together to wipe all the silver paint off Max's face. The two then return back up to the stage.
Thank you, little purple Shayla. I feel much better now.
You see, your tricks aren't going to work, Robotnik.
Also, if you give up now, you can still maybe be our friend.
Be your friend, Lady Luna? I shan't fall prey to your siren song, temptress. Unlike this fine lady here, gentlemen?
Bowsette nods. Yeah, for now.
Gentlemen, is it not true that you promised Lady Peach that if the time came when you believed him to be a threat, you were prepared to slay Sir Bowser?
What? Luna? Everyone deserves a friend, huh? Except me? Bowsette storms off.
Robotnik wins!
As the team stands stunned at this new revelation, Daniel D. Cornwall wanders on stage. Darkness calls. It's you know who. You can't escape the tuneless call of Cthulhu. This world falls.
Didymus ducks down into the castle. Beneath him is Ambrosius, wearing fake bat wings with a flashlight in his mouth. Sir Didymus sets the flashlight down beneath Ambrosius and clicks it on, shining its light up at the dog. Ambrosius casts a shadow on the sky backdrop that is genuinely creepy. His long, shaggy dog fur hangs off him like a mix of tentacles and seaweed, and the fake bat wings that he's been given perfectly complete the great old one's silhouette.
Oh no, it's Cthulhu!
Give it up, Cthulhu. You're surrounded.
I don't think that's gonna work.
In the words of Archer, wait, I had something for this. A spell. We can banish him from this world. I just need a trio of witches.
I'm a witch!
I'm witch adjacent.
Perfect. You guys keep him busy.
Stitch, Dante, and Mad Max's Mario flail around at the Cthulhuoid shadow in the sky. Nico, Luna, and Vivian gather around the Tome of Eternal Darkness.
The power is mine to banish you away. But what's this rune? I feel my eyes begin to stray.
Nico, just say Nethlek and the spell will be completed.
A power so great. Could it be confined? It's written here. Bankarok, a spell to bind. Darkness calls. Fuck it.
Nethlek.
Backstage, Sir Didymus clicks the flashlight on and off, meaning that the towering shadow of Ambrosius as Cthulhu flickers on and off until it finally vanishes.
The evil has been defeated. Great job, team.
Well, I guess you'll be wanting to return back to your world then. It was lovely getting a chance to fight alongside you, but now me and Mario are going to get married.
There are no words to describe the depths of our love.
Come join the fight in this grassroots military.
We might not be the largest, but we are extraordinary.
Your offer is kind. I don't know what to do.
Just take our hand and make a stand.
We can't do it without you.
Okay. Well, sorry, Mario.
I'll never love again.
Cut to black. Backstage, Luna and Bowsette are currently sitting off in a corner chatting and holding hands. Luna is wearing the fake mustache that Bowsette had on earlier. The two giggle and whisper to each other for a moment, until suddenly, Skeletor approaches them. If you two are quite done gazing moodily into another's vacant eyes, Luna, you are needed on stage.
Really? For what?
Skeletor holds up a basket of muffins. For our scene! My whole redemption arc thing!
Oh, you didn't hear? I'm sorry. That whole plot line was cut for time. You're not in the rest of the play. We have a little while before my next scene, though. We can have those muffins now.
Oh, well, that's fine. I suppose the most feared and terrible nemesis of the Extraordinary League learning to forgive them for their many crimes and becoming their ally isn't a story worth telling.
Bowsette grabs a muffin. Well, someone likes hearing themselves talk.
I will talk less as soon as I suspect that I am not the smartest person in a given room. Until then, you would do well to listen to my words, you overgrown reptile. You just might learn something.
You know, dude, if you're not feeling artistically fulfilled, there's any number of avenues to publications in our modern online society. Have you ever thought about starting a podcast?
What's a podcast? Scene 6. Phyrexia. The set has been decorated with enormous piles of scrap metal and discarded machinery, shaped into a representation of the skyline of Phyrexia. It's somewhat abstracted, but also instantly recognizable to anyone who has visited the parasitic plane. Looming in the background, stretching across the entire back wall of the stage, is an enormous pile of trash that looks like a mountain range. Up in the catwalks sits Luca. By her side is Morden's gravity gun, and there is an oversized, clunky steampunk keyboard in her lap, covered in knobs and joysticks. After sitting for a moment with her eyes closed, Luca exhales softly and picks up the gravity gun. Back on the stage, a small, handmade toy helicopter descends from the ceiling, held aloft by unseen forces. It could easily fit into a human hand, as most of it appears to be made out of a can opener, but rather than seeming silly, the pitiful little construction just seems sad. Hopelessly small compared to the enormous monoliths of metal that surround it. As Luca moves the gravity gun around the room and throttles the trigger back and forth to pull the toy helicopter in or push it away, it flies elegant arcs through the metal towers, weaving in and out between them as it explores the landscape before it flies off, exiting stage right. A moment later, Luca sets down the gravity gun and begins to operate the controller on her lap. A group of 5 clockwork automatons, each about 4 feet tall, slowly walk on from stage right. Though their features are crude, made from radiators, light bulbs, and oversized hex bolts, each is clearly made in the likeness of a member of the League. Stitch, Morden, Nico, Dante, and Luna. They walk a little stiffly, and their heads slowly pan back and forth as they go, scanning the horizon for dangers. Suddenly, they see another automaton, running toward them with alarming speed. It has an enormous upper body, with prominent spheroid shoulders, and its legs taper to tiny points that should not be able to support its weight, and yet they do. This is Samus Aran, and she pauses for a moment in front of our heroes before hurriedly pointing back in the direction they came and running past them. The 5 automatons shuffle back and forth for a moment, not sure of what to do, before they all collectively turn and run, following Samus's lead. After a few moments of silence, a red glow shines down as a figure slowly descends from the skies above. It's another automaton, but easily twice their height, greater than life size. It is elegant and feminine, yet terrifying, with gray skin, blood-red armor plating, and wicked, curving spikes all over. Through the occasional gaps in its plating, a burning red glow shines from within, and whenever the creature moves, it belches out nasty jets of smoke and flame. This is unmistakably the former Red Praetor, Azula. Azula stalks through the towers of detritus, searching, slowly moving toward the place our heroes are hiding. She's almost upon them, when another automaton enters. This figure is quite tall, almost as large as Azula. Its torso and upper arms are constructed of thin metal rods, but its forearms and lower body slowly taper outward, evocative of a robe. Atop the automaton's head is a curtain of chains that frame its blank face like long hair, and in its hand is a long staff made of twisted rebar and an oxygen tank, topped with a large light bulb. This is Raceland. Raceland lifts his staff and stamps the end on the ground. Azula jerks around quickly to face him, her metal parts screeching and twanging under the strain. Azula's upper body then rocks up and down as flames rhythmically blast from her vents, approximating a laugh. Raceland dashes toward Azula and she leaps into the air, flipping over his head. The 2 automatons begin to dance around each other, an activity halfway between combat and ballet. Raceland is slow but purposeful, moving with graceful, deliberate strikes, repeatedly attempting to bring Azula down, but never hitting anything but air. Azula is wild and chaotic, flipping, twisting, and never remaining on the ground for more than a fraction of a second before leaping skyward once more, and everywhere she goes, trails of smoke are left behind her, until the entire stage is filled with a dark cloud of foul exhaust. Finally, Azula strikes, knocking Raceland onto his back with a metallic thud. She towers over him, her flames flaring up and down in laughter once again. Then Raceland raises his staff. The light bulb on the end explodes, and a jet of white smoke erupts from it. Inside the staff is a fire extinguisher, which coats Azula in white foam. Azula freezes as the fire inside her dies out. Raceland climbs back up to his feet. He watches Azula for a moment before turning away from her, but as soon as his eyes are off her, the fire within her once again flares back to life. Raceland spins around and blasts her with another jet, but it's of no use. Azula's chest opens up and a gout of flame cuts through Raceland's stream of white smoke and sets him ablaze. Raceland stumbles backward until his back is against a tower of scrap metal as Azula continues to blast him with flames until he is almost completely melted, fused into the metal structure behind him. Just another piece of the scenery of Phyrexia. Azula turns and exits. The 5 automatons we saw earlier, Stitch, Morden, Nico, Dante, and Luna, emerge from their hiding place. But now there is a 6th companion with them, smaller than the rest, a 2-foot-tall, robotic Morgana, who bounces along jauntily. The 6 slowly wander from the front of the stage toward the large mountain of trash at the back. As they approach, another small construct emerges and blocks the team's path, threatening them with a sword. This is Michonne. Nico digs around in one of the towers of trash before pulling out an 8-track player. And Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond starts playing. The team dances to the song, but Michonne remains in a combat stance, sword raised. By the time they hit the chorus, though, everyone is dancing along to those ba-ba-bas, including Michonne. When the song finishes, Michonne nods her head in approval and holds up a small diamond. The team leaps up and down with joy, and as they continue walking, Michonne joins them. Finally, the team arrives at the back of the stage, standing at the foot of the mountain range of trash. Then, the enormous mass of mechanical detritus shifts in its sleep. The mountain is, in fact, a single enormous robot made in the image of a slumbering Godzilla. Alone, Morden slowly approaches the slumbering beast. As he does so, he opens a panel on his chest. Inside are an assortment of miscellaneous machine parts, including gears, springs, and a light bulb where his heart should be, currently turned off. From deep within his chest, the robot pulls out a human-scale syringe, comically large in his tiny hands. The Morden construct then shuts his chest panel and leans over, inserting the syringe into Godzilla's mouth. When Godzilla's eye, a giant camera aperture, swivels open. Morden flees as the behemoth climbs to its feet. Now standing upright with its tail unfurled, this beast easily covers half the stage. The Morgana robot takes a wide stance and raises a paw, and suddenly everything is bathed in black light, revealing colorful patterns of swirls and starbursts that have been hidden across the landscape the entire time. We are now in the metaverse. Among the many things revealed by this new lighting scheme is that Godzilla is wearing black light clown makeup. As the lighting shifts, a panel also opens on Godzilla's neck, and another robot crawls out from within. Somewhere between a snake, a leech, and a spider. The Phyrexian Parasite. Our 7 heroes line up in a row, and then they transform, their parts unfolding and reshaping themselves into larger, more monstrous automatons. Their personas. Morgana becomes Zoro. Nico becomes Hecate. Dante becomes Fenrir. Stitch becomes Elvis. Luna becomes Unicorn. Morden becomes Prometheus. And Michonne becomes Cerberus. The now transformed robots rush the Titanic lizard and begin to climb it as it snaps at them with its mouth and whips at them with his tail. Cerberus rips off a piece of armor plating with its mouth, and Elvis blasts the giant with a bolt of electricity from a lightning generator in its chest. Then Unicorn knocks the parasite off Godzilla's neck and down onto the ground. The 7 robots all charge the scuttling monster, but Fenrir gets there first and tears its head off. The 7 leap up and down in celebration, but then a row of light bulbs that run up Godzilla's back all light up with a vibrant green light. Our heroes all flee, with the exception of Morden, who doesn't move fast enough. The behemoth opens its mouth, revealing an enormous green light bulb at the back of its throat, which bathes the world in a blinding green light. As the light fades, the Titan collapses to the floor in exhaustion. The green light is gone, and the black light is gone. We're back in the real world. All the automatons have transformed back into their original states, and they help Morden get up to his feet. Morden looks down at his chest panel once more, and opens it up. Now the light bulb inside is slowly pulsing on and off, shining with an eerie green light. The team slowly approaches Godzilla, who regards them with a look of suspicion before turning his head away, apparently no longer viewing them as a threat. One by one, the 7 slowly climb up onto the creature, who then starts walking toward the front of the stage. As he does so, dozens of tiny, scuttling Phyrexian robots come at him from all angles. On the ground and in the air, Godzilla tries to exit stage right, but a swarm of Phyrexians blocks him. Then he tries to exit stage left, but another swarm blocks him. Finally, the tiny Nico automaton climbs to the top of Godzilla's head and raises her staff of one aloft, a thin metal rod topped with a washer. All around the theater, the lights flicker with a strobing rainbow of colors, and the curtain falls. Backstage, Morden approaches Luca, who is staring down at her feet. Seeing Morden coming, Luca wipes away a tear and turns to face him. I hope that was okay.
It's, certainly not how I would have done it. It was so much better.
They hug.
One of the reasons that I hadn't finished the play yet was because I wasn't sure what to do about that whole section. Our time in Phyrexia tend to be drawn towards lighter works of fiction, upbeat patter songs. Didn't think there was any art that could be made out of that story. At least, nothing that anyone would want to see.
And now?
Now I'm glad I didn't finish it. It's hitting me now just how much life there is in this play, because it's infused with the spirits of all of us. All of the hands that have touched it have left their mark. Although, I am a little upset that you didn't include my song about the wonders of triangulation.
Luca laughs. I really miss him.
Yes, he was so brave. Without Raceland's sacrifice, none of us would be here.
No, I mean as a person, to hang out with.
I didn't really know him.
Yeah, and now you won't. Scene 7. The Wake. Back on the stage, representing Castle Grayskull, the League, all dressed in black, is gathered together for Nico's funeral.
When you're all alone and you're feeling really rotten, no, you won't be left behind.
or you will not be forgotten.
Thank you oh so much. We're so happy that we met you.
And though we couldn't save you, we will never forget you.
The team turns to leave, except for Morden. The show must go on, my friends. Stitch, Luna, and Dante turn back to face Morden for a moment before ignoring him and walking off stage. Morden sits for a moment in quiet contemplation before a low boom rumbles through the theater.
Stitch and Dante rush back on stage, followed by Azula as Flemeth. Luna remains unseen. Azula as Flemeth speaks. We got a problem.
What?
From both sides of the stage, dozens of Luca's Phyrexian robots begin to approach the team. A battle begins.
Archer enters from stage left, now dressed as a judge from Mega City 1. Hey, what's up, you guys? I'm back, and I have new clothing.
We have to go now.
Luna enters from stage right with Bowsette, now dressed as Bowsette, following close behind. Can my new friend Bowsette come along?
I'm a girl now!
Yeah! Trans rights are human rights. Koopa rights. Let's go!
Oh sure, she gets a redemption arc! Yes, run along, League. I, Flemeth, will stay and die heroically to ensure your escape. Phyrexians continue to pour on the stage as the League gathers together. Morden holds up a DDC and feigns pressing some buttons on it as Stitch opens up a trapdoor in the ground. In the floor beneath them is a portal, which the team all jump through. Azula, as Flemeth, remains behind and rips the robots apart with blue fire and bursts of lightning. The curtain falls. Backstage, our heroes fall out of the portal in the wall and land next to the prop cabinet. As they do so, Archer bumps into the cabinet. On one of the middle shelves, the vial of Dilophosaurus venom wobbles back and forth precariously before settling once again without falling over.
Morden glances at the venom, and then at Stitch.
The lab was super far away.
Morden reaches through the portal in the wall and shuts the trap door in the stage floor behind them. We'll talk about it later.
Nuh-uh. I already said it's the last we'll see of that. This isn't a Chekhov's Dilophosaurus venom.
Back on stage, the curtain rises to reveal the set of a bedroom/holding cell with architecture that might be described as Star Wars-y. Outside is space, and in the distance, a half-finished space station, the Doomstar.
Lying in a bed is Nico. She sits up and takes in her surroundings.
A figure steps on stage. Gray armor covered by a gold tunic, covered by a cloak, and a face hidden by a mask. It's a reprogrammed Doombot that is playing the part of Dr. Doom. Good afternoon, Miss Minoru. Or are you still going by Sister Grimm?
Nico climbs out of bed. Where's my staff?
Sadly broken when you used your powers to help your friends escape. But no matter, they will be within our grasp once again soon enough.
Pity. If I had it, you'd be dead right now.
Is that so? Tell me, why didn't you join your friends when they left?
Because I'm just super altruistic.
I have a different theory. I believe you lacked the power to do so. You need a teacher, and thanks to Phyrexia, I have accumulated magical knowledge from 1,000 worlds. What would you say if I offered you the chance to study at my side?
I don't have my staff. It's broken.
Do you see me with the staff? Your staff was holding you back, offering you easy answers. I do not offer you easy answers, Nico. I only offer you knowledge.
And if this knowledge gives me a way to destroy you?
That is something I would like to see. Scene 8. Star Wars. With cool blue skies over hot yellow sands and the occasional white building on the horizon, the set is now, unmistakably...
Where are we?
Hey, I'm Michael Jordan. Welcome to Tatooine. Laserfire streaks past the team from offstage.
Oh no, stormtroopers!
You know, given how extended some of these scenes have been, I wasn't expecting the storytelling here to be so efficient.
Morden, watch out!
Morden vanishes into the trapdoor on the floor.
Morden?
Return fire! Archer unloads the Coggiver at unseen stormtroopers. Yeah, run away. That'll teach you.
Morden pops through the trapdoor, now wearing a Hawaiian shirt and holding a coconut with a straw in it. Who's got one horn and is a planeswalker? This guy!
Hey, if you're a planeswalker, does that mean you can finally, read that book we got in Jurassic Park?
Let's give it a shot. Morden flips through the planeswalker tome furiously for a minute before closing it and taking a deep breath. I know what we need to do, but in order to do it, we're going to need to launch multiple missions at the same time across the galaxy, most likely creating some sort of massive interstellar struggle.
Would you call it a cosmic conflict?
A galactic rumble?
An astro kerfuffle.
A Star War! I'm going to hot once I get a scarf to wear. They are our friends there inside a cell.
I will try Bespin. I'll be the best dressed in, and I can blend in to get some intel.
I'll go to Tython to solve mysteries of the Force. To be safe, I'll bring my best friends along.
To Mustafar, I am going, nothing will change my course. I'll take the time machine and throw it in a pit, and I'll spit on top of it. Nothing will go wrong.
My turn. Going to Hrothgar. Seems like it's pretty far, on a different plane. Inside a monastery, they have the fifth stone. We'll see if they'll loan that rock to me. And if they won't, then I guess we'll see.
The set changes once again to Nico's new room in the interior of the Starforge. She's surrounded by mystical artifacts and is reading from a stack of leather-bound tomes, taking notes. Outside, the Doomstar is now complete.
They say the night is dark and full of terrors, but those who dare to cross me now wouldn't have a prayer. I dreamed of untold power, and that dream comes true today. But I can't help but think about what I lost along the way. The power is mine, the power that I seek. But as it makes me strong, why do I feel so weak? The power is mine. I've opened up the cover. But am I truly free, or did I trade one master for another? I have the power, like the father of machines. But the last thing that we need is another king or queen. This power is trash. I can't do it on my own. I'm stronger with my friends. This is not about me. I need them by my side because together we could do much more than I could ever do alone.
Two stormtroopers enter, wheeling in a life-size papier-mâché Dante using a dolly, which they set in the center of the stage. As the stormtroopers exit, the Doombot enters.
Is this?
Captured on a mission to destroy Doom's time platform. Their mission was a success, but it matters not. I already have everything I need in order to complete my plans. But before they could escape, this one tripped an arcane trap and was frozen this way.
And you want him unfrozen, broken?
I will not give up my favorite decoration. I like Mr. Dante where he is. Interestingly, also on this mission was Godzilla, the former Green Praetor. We have him locked up now, and I am keenly interested in finding out how your friends managed to remove his Phyrexian programming.
Oh yeah, that's Morden, one of the League scientists. You shouldn't have any issues sciencing circles around him. The man's so close-minded.
Outside, a motley assortment of spaceships jump into view from lightspeed. A giant space battle begins as these ships attack the Starforge and the Doomstar. It appears as though we have company. I shall ensure they receive a proper welcome.
Nico watches the Doombot leave, and once he is off stage, she waves a hand. Dante bursts forth from inside the papier-mâché statue of himself.
Yes! I'm free!
Nico covers his mouth. Shut up.
Dude, I just led the most successful mission ever.
Are you ready to lead another one? 'Cause shit is going down.
Put me in, coach.
Another explosion rocks the stage.
Someone's coming.
Running onto the stage are Stitch, Morden, Archer, and Luna.
Ohana! Stitch gives Nico and Dante a charging four-armed group hug.
A moment later, Luna joins in.
Followed by Archer.
Morden stands off to the side awkwardly.
Before Luna uses the Force to pull Morden into the hug.
Once he's there, though, he's into it.
Alright, guys, this is great, but there's no time.
We thought we'd never see you again.
I know, and I'm happy to see you all, but right now we have to destroy that space station.
Then let our powers combine. Earth.
Fire!
Wind.
Water.
Heart.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Multiverse.
Go multiverse.
Go multiverse!
Looks like this world is sick, but I'm here to be its nurse. Let's clean up those seas and that toxic atmosphere. Whew! Now that my work is done, it's time for me to disappear. The power is yours. The Doombot, playing Doom, runs onto the stage and charges at the League.
Die, extraordinary League!
Luna holds up a hand and force pushes Doom over, knocking him onto his back.
Whoa, how'd you do that?
With the Force, the invisible energy field that connects all living things. Read a book.
Doom sits up and shakes a clenched fist to the sky. No! How could you do this when ultimate control was almost in my grasp? Now it's all over!
You're never really in control of anything. Whether it's a vast interdimensional empire, a small musical theater production, or a group of friends playing a tabletop RPG.
Even if you want stuff to last forever, eventually everything ends.
Sometimes bad shit happens to you, and you gotta deal with it. Unless you're perfect, like me, Dante.
But if your friends are by your side, you can handle it. I agree with that previous sentiment. That was Nico speaking before. Now it's me. Sterling Archer, gunslinger, judge, world's greatest secret agent.
Luna looks off stage to Lace for approval.
Lace nods.
Luna steps forward and places a hand on Doombot's shoulder. Everyone's a person, even those that lose their way. And who you'll be tomorrow isn't who you are today. I've put away my fist and now I'm holding out a hand. I know some people will not change, but anybody can. Oh, and although you're used to fighting, the fighting's at an end. Fa la la la, doo-dee-doo. Everyone deserves a friend.
The team looks down at Doombot expectantly. After a few moments, he climbs to his feet and crosses his arms uncomfortably. I don't have it.
Don't have what?
The prop. The Tome of Eternal Darkness. I'm supposed to summon Cthulhu now, but I don't have it. I'm sorry, I know this isn't very professional, but I'm not a trained actor and I don't know how to handle this.
You guys, that's the actual Tome of Eternal Darkness he's talking about, not a prop. This could be very bad.
An evil laugh echoes from off stage, and Azula enters, still dressed as Flemeth. Oh, fear not, Extraordinary League. I have your book right here. The audience boos.
Boo.
Oh, shut up!
Flemeth, I knew you were evil!
No, that's Azula.
Oh, right, Azula. I mean, I didn't know you were evil, but I probably should have.
That's Sorceress Azula to you.
I swore I'd never break my vow, but you give me no choice. Dante draws his sword. By the power of Grayskull!
Nothing happens. Oh no, that won't work, you see. I have the power. Not only am I playing the part of Flemeth, I also wrote the part. We all pitched in writing, didn't we? Because the little doctor couldn't finish. And I made sure that the ritual performed on stage to transform Flemeth into the sorceress was in fact the actual ritual that would grant someone the status of Sorceress of Grayskull for real. And you know what that means.
You can turn into an animal?
Azula transforms into a 30-foot-long snake-like flying dragon. Something like that. Azula lets out a blast of fire at the League, who scatter to various points around the stage. In the audience, Fiverr turns to Amethyst and Elijah Snow. I have to admit, I didn't see this one coming.
Me either. These effects are really good, though.
Azula holds the Tome of Eternal Darkness in one of her claws. This is nice and all, but is it enough? Maybe I should try becoming Azuthulu. Or is that gilding the lily? Stitch and Dante leap at Azula, but she slaps them aside with her tail, sending them flying through a nearby wall. Archer opens fire on her with the Caw-Giver, and Luna uses the Force to try to pull the tome out of her hands, but she blasts the two of them with a jet of fire.
Nico raises a hand at Azula and says,
You know that
But
feeling?
is interrupted when Azula's tail lashes her across the stomach, knocking the wind out of her.
Lying on the stage is Morden, slowly crawling away from her.
Why do you resist? You pitiful mortals cannot fathom the depths of my power. I have firebending, martial prowess, the power of Grayskull, and the most powerful book of dark magic ever written.
Morden realizes he's next to the trap door. He lifts up the panel and sticks his arm down into the hidden portal on the floor. Well, I have something that you don't. Morden pulls the vial of Dilophosaurus venom out of the portal and pulls back his arm to throw it.
But Azula's tail wraps around his arm, holding it in place. Morden struggles but can't pull his arm free of her grasp as her enormous draconic face closes in on him. And what's that? Science? Cancer?
Morden lets go of the vial and it slowly drops to the ground. No. Friends.
Inches above the ground, the vial of venom stops, floating in midair. It is then pulled across the room before stopping a foot in front of Luca, who's levitating the vial using the gravity gun. Azula spins around to look at Luca and scowls, fire building in the back of her throat. Luca releases the trigger on the gun and shoots the vial of Dilophosaurus venom into Azula's face. It explodes, covering her scaly face in black goo. Azula shrieks in agony as the League all attacks her at once.
Nico rises to her feet. As I was saying,
You know that feeling when you're about to beat super ghouls and ghosts and your roommate trips over the power cord.
Moments later, Azula is Azula once more, and is tied up in chains.
Vivian rises up from a nearby shadow. Looks like someone just lost their 30-day chip.
Looks like someone needs to go to Candyland.
I think we all learned a valuable lesson today.
Yeah, when life gives you Dilophosaurus venom, make Dilophosaurus venomade.
You all ready to call it a show?
Yes, but we still have to take our bow.
Mr. GM, would you care to join us?
With pleasure. 6 figures stand on the stage under 6 spotlights. Come join the fight in this grassroots military.
We might not be the largest, but we are extraordinary.
Our purpose is clear.
But our numbers are few.
Come take my hand and make a stand.
We can't do it without you.
And that's game.